Thank you once again for joining me on today's continuing journey into and through resilience. Our individual resilience, our collective resilience. The concept that I'm saying we all have, this quality within us, is not mine or yours or something I'm going to buy from Costco. It's a quality we already have within us, but I implore you to take the time to define it for yourself. Come to an agreement with yourself and then work it. Put it in action. Not put it on a shelf or a nice bauble as a necklace. Make it active in what you do each day, each new day, like this one right now. So no matter where you are in this world, just remember this. This is the 820 show. I thank you for joining me. Let's get into it. Let's call this one today, maybe something controversial, but let's talk about it. The prenuptial friendship. The prenuptial friendship. I think that term and the topic, it may be alarming to you, but I think it's a necessary and paramount discussion to have today. So in a way, I want to even review those eight steps of friendship. If you remember, if you were with me a few episodes ago, I did an episode about the 8 pillars of friendship. So if you can, please remember, call it the Ming view of the friend world. And again, that perspective from me, your humble scribe on resilience today, is merely my opinion, my observations, but I want to make sure that I continue to communicate that to you as clearly as I can. But that model, if you will, about those 8 pillars of friendship, they can be useful on your journey towards and into resilience. They can be all wrong, but hopefully they are useful. As a quick summary on those 8 pillars. Number 1, you have a disparate background in that friend. Number 2, you have common or shared experiences with that person. Number 3, you've had similar or complementary levels of trauma. Number 4, you had a concentrated duration or experience with that person. Could be a solid 5 minutes or 5 decades, but somewhere was a concentrated time you spent together with that person. Number 5, you have a common, relatable desire, discipline, and drive. Number 6, you have the constant over variables in your respective lives. And that constant I always refer to is the love, the substance of love. That's between you and the other individual. Number 7, you also share core competencies, meaning what you like to do or what you're good at doing, and you share that. Number 8, reliability, meaning that person and you to that person, you exhibit reliability under duress, under stress, your availability without question. And it doesn't require constant contact, but does require some level of respective and regular contact. So that's a quick review of those 8 pillars. But remember, today, I want to talk about this other term called a prenuptial friendship. Probably got to find a better word for that term, prenuptial. But let's look at that definition first. Prenuptial, from the dictionary, it means to exist or occurring before marriage. Prenuptial meaning existing or occurring before marriage. Now, I'm not trying to marry my friends. But let's look at the term marry or marriage. According to the dictionary, before I get into that, I have to admit this. Admittedly, that is something I have not been successful in at 3 times, being married 3 times in the most formal manner. But let me check the definitions anyway. So to marry, according to the definition or the dictionary, one definition says to join in marriage. That's pretty simple. But then I read a second definition that says simply, quote, cause to meet or fit together or to combine. Think about that in that context. Under the title of this episode, prenuptial friendship, and then the term marry means cause to meet or fit together, to combine. I think for the purpose of this discussion, we can use prenuptial in this case and with friends. And also I must acknowledge my dear cousin, Barbara, in Detroit. We had a discussion over many years, but I finally had to concede to her that it is possible to marry your friend or best friend. I had discounted that and totally fought her on this, but now in this discussion today, looking into a little closer into the definition of what marry means, that makes sense to me now. Thank you, Barbara. However, if the foundation of friend has been fully established, and before that formal event called marriage, that's where it becomes important to have that thing called, in my mind, my heart, a prenuptial friendship. That leads me also to acknowledge that I never, me personally, my responsibility, my accountability, I never established that friend thing with any of the women that I did actually formally marry. And that has led me to start a new appreciation for the parameters for friend, those 8 pillars of guidelines for taking that plunge headlong into something not fully baked yet. So just maybe, as an outline and definitely genuine discussion points for a continuing friendship or relationship, this can instill that common quality called resilience among and between 2 or more vested parties of interest. I know it may seem like a lot of work for a simple dalliance here and there, and on occasion when it's easy to slip in and out of something. I'm not trying to infuse formality into friendship, but given the possible nastiness of informal and unbounded relationships, do you think or observe this conversation as necessary or just unnecessary? I would only suggest that you make that decision with wherever you find the home for your love. Just make that decision with wherever and whomever you find home for your love. Thank you once again. Stay present. Stay current. No matter where you are in this world, please remember, it is always 8:20.